I'm at Hitler's.
Hitler doesn't scare me as much.
Hitler.
Hitler's.
Hitler.
Springtime for Hitler.
You know, with Hitler, the more I learn about that guy, the more I don't care for him. I can't. And there's nothing redeeming about the guy. I tell the guys, I go, how on earth could these Germans, like, follow this lunatic, you know? And they're like, oh, he was an incredible public speaker, you know? He could hypnotize you with his public speaking. And then I see him, he's like, strangely, correctly, strangely. I go, what? That's not my idea of a silver-tongued devil, you know?
Now, last week you saw Richard Hammond driving a six-wheeled Mercedes-Benz. But did you know they made another six-wheeled car long before that one? Would you like to see a picture of it?
Love to.
Here it is.
Oh, right.
Did they not mention this, then?
Do you know they didn't?
How odd.
It is, isn't it? Because Mercedes like to go on about their heritage and history, and they didn't mention that one.
Well, perhaps they didn't mention it because it's got Hitler in it.
I don't know.
That's not Hitler.
It is.
It isn't. No, that car was built long before indicators were invented, so he's just there to do some hand signals.
What signals are you doing there, then, James?
He's saying, take the Third Reich.
But supposedly Hitler changed from what was a relatively bushy moustache. You may have seen a famous photograph of him as a Gefreiter, corporal in the First World War. There he is on the left. But there are a couple of stories. No one's quite sure which is true. There was a fellow who served with him, Alexander Moritz Frey, great-uncle Alexander. He was in the same regiment in the First World War as Hitler, and he said that Hitler trimmed it into the familiar toothbrush in order to fit into the gas mask properly. Oh. Frey's account is controversial, apparently. He went on to become a satirist and fantasy novelist, starting a family tradition.
Here's the point about Hitler. He's judged very harshly by history, but he did kill Hitler.
I can't take that away from you, Jimmy.
Credit when credit is due.
That's true.
Somebody in this section over here, give me a suggestion of two unlikely roommates.
Bill Cosby and Hitler.
Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby and Hitler, certainly unlikely roommates. If ever there were unlikely roommates. So, you gotta be kidding me, come on.
Not that Hitler. Rudolph Hitler. Would you like some Jell-O, Hitler?
Louie, now, I know a lot about you. I don't know where you're originally from. I know it was near, I'm from Brookline, Mass. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Newton, Mass.
Newton, Mass, yeah.
But I tell people I'm from Boston, because you just rounded off the nearest city.
Oh, yeah,
You know, that's the polite thing to do, because when people ask you where you're from, they don't really want to know.
Yeah.
They just, because you were standing there looking needy, and they had to say something to your face. So where are you from?
Yeah.
But I hate when people try to explain where they're from. You know, they're like, well, technically, just make a noise. Just exhale. Nobody. I don't even listen when people, I'm like, where are you from? I'm done. You could have said Hitler's vagina. I don't care. It's not, like, I'll just go, okay, what parts? I don't care. But.
Hitler's vagina?
Yeah. It's like, sounds like a name for a hairpin turn on some roads. He lost his Chevy on Hitler's vagina. But anyway.
That's true. Hitler was a vegetarian. Did you know it? They don't tell you that at Whole Foods, do they? Do you know who else was a vegetarian? Hitler. Really? Yes. He was. Hitler was. He was a vegetarian. He didn't drink or smoke. He used to paint little watercolors. If he wasn't the worst prick who ever lived, he'd probably have his own show on NPR. Yeah, he's too ambitious for public radio, Hitler. He'd probably want a drive time morning show with his own zoo. As we know, his own gang of guys. Welcome to Drive Time in the Morning with Hitler, Goebbels und Mel Gibson. What what's the traffic like this morning, Mel? Well, it's a little backed up on the freeway. I'll blame the Jews. But I was very surprised that Mel Gibson was a Nazi, and then everyone in Hollywood said, no, Mel's not a Nazi, he just had too much to drink. I'm like, really? That can happen? I was a blackout drunk for 15 years. I never drank so much I turned Nazi. Maybe I was a lightweight. Maybe I was one tequila away from going completely Third Reich. That was a problem. Oh, I'm staggering. Just one more whiskey. Oh, look at this. Oh, my God.
Here's a question for you. How come you never run into anybody with the last name Hitler? You ever notice that? That guy didn't have any relatives. You know, he didn't have like a cousin, like Ed. You know, Ed Hitler, he's a plumber, right? Shows up to work on time, your little lady covers for you. You know he had relatives. They all had to change their last names. I'm fascinated with that level of evil, right? Like, you're so evil, they have to retire your name. Like, that's it. It's over. Shut it down. They just take your name out of that baby book list of names. Just erase it. Think about it. For the rest of the time, no one's going to have a beautiful baby and be like, you want to call him Adolf? Is everybody cool with that? Can you imagine? Oh, thank you. Can you imagine being that much of a though? Like, whatever your name is, the day you die, Steve, that's it. No more Steves.
But I watch the TV, I watch the news, make you afraid, the news, you know? Put all these stories on, Iraq, Iran, North Korea, you know, try to scare you, you know? But does it ever really scare you? Like, you ever wake up in the middle of the night, North Korea! That little tiny country across the ocean. I wonder if they'll get me. Plus, didn't MASH settle that like 20 years ago? Why'd I have to watch that stupid show? There is one country that worries me, though. Not Iraq, not Iran, not North Korea. The only country that really worries me is the country of Germany. I don't know if you guys are history buffs or not, but... in the early part of the previous century, Germany decided to go to war. And who did they go to war with? The world. That had never been tried before. And so you figure that would take about 5 seconds for the world to win, but no, it was actually close. Then about 30 years pass, and Germany decides again to go to war, and again it chooses as its enemy the world. And this time they have that guy, Schrankly, that guy, and I'm not even going to dignify him by saying his name, but I think you know what I'm talking about. But you'd think at that point the world will go, listen, Germany, here's the deal. You don't get to be a country no more on account of you keep attacking the world. I mean, what do you think, you're Mars or something?
Democracy is the closest thing we've got to everyone sort of chipping in. But even that's got problems, you know, who gets the vote? Should everyone get the vote, you know? Dangerous question. The political philosopher Nietzsche said that not all people do deserve the vote and not all men are born equal. This was classically misinterpreted by Hitler, who went way too far with it. And he just, do you know what I mean? Imagine that. You're a great scholar, Nietzsche, and you write that, and you get called to Hitler and say, all right, Nietzsche? All right, Adolf? Yeah, just been reading your book. Do you like it? Brilliant. Love all that. Love all that. Man and Superman, not everyone's equal, kill all the Jews. Sorry, what? Not everyone's equal, kill all the Jews. I didn't write that. No, I read between the lines. No, I didn't mean it. You've totally misinterpreted the whole point of it. Yeah, definitely. It's awful. Ooh. It's dreadful. Have you been killing Jewish people? What? Have you been killing Jewish people? Oh. How many have you killed? How many? Like, 6 million. 6 million! Yeah, all right, don't go on about it. I'm not going to do any more. That's it. Leave it at 6. Leave it at 6. Let's move on. Are you staying for tea anyway? Oh, yeah, but be careful in future. You writing any other books at the moment? Well, I am, but I'm scared to tell you about them. No, I won't do anything. What's your new book called? My new book is called The Jippos. Do we need them?
That's all, folks.
La rivedere.